Welcome, gamers, to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We're on episode 236. Today is August 27th. My name is Craig Prowse, and joining me, as always, Sir Mandrew of Montemare.
Big news, big games.
Dude, tons of big games. We were kind of talking earlier, man. This year is shaping up to be jam-packed full of the good stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's after everything that I played, I still can't believe all the stuff that hasn't come out yet. I'm just like, man, it's so many.
I know. I was looking at because a couple games dropped today, and I was looking at start. I was it was 2 days ago. And I was looking at starting to play something. I'm like, dude, there's no point on starting anything like that's bigger than 25 hours. Because I'm like, in the next between the 27th through all of September to November, it's just gonna be you're gonna be chock full of games, just game after game after game. So it's gonna be hard finishing all the ones that are coming out, and we'll actually have a good episode coming out next week where Andrew and I kind of cover over what's left of the year, which I'm really looking forward to, man, because every game we were trying to talk and everything on the list, I think is just stellar.
But yeah, no, the rest of the year's packed. I don't know how I'm gonna fit time in for like anything, especially backlog stuff.
You can kiss your backlog goodbye. So if you guys are joining us on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. Do it right now. Pause right now and do that. If
Por
you guys are
favor.
interested in, por favor, please. If you guys are interested in following us on our social media, our link tree links in our description. You can follow us on X and on Instagram, where Andrew and I post some reviews on games we beat. And then on our, if you guys are listening to the audio only version of this podcast, you can find us on your podcast platform of choice and get those sweet, soothing voices in the middle of the night. So, with that being said, guys, let's get started. Andrew and I like to do off the top, where we, instead of jumping straight to our main story, we'd like to talk about some of the smaller things that have been going on. So in case you've missed it, we can kind of catch you up. Or if you do know about it, maybe some things that you haven't heard dealing with that. And the first one we want to bring up is that Gamescom is 2026 is now up and running. It's the annual show that's set up through Jeff Keighley. It runs for 5 main days from August 26th to August 30th. That's not even counting opening night, ONL, which was on the opening night live, which was on the 25th. It's in Cologne, Germany, and we look forward to it every year. I mean, it's nice to still have some of these spectacles that aren't so much E3, but do have these blocks of just showing game after game, and there's a lot of good stuff. So we're not going to go through everything that they have because it's still going on right now. So maybe by the time it's done, maybe next week Andrew and I can kind of dive more into it. But I did kind of want to point out some highlights that at least caught my eye. And Andrew, if he has some, he can point out some that catches his eye. So the first thing I wanted to point out is that they've announced a Golden Axe cartoon. Sega's classic 1989 arcade game is being adapted into an adult animated comedy series premiering on Paramount Plus on September 16th of 2026. The plot is veteran warriors Axe Battler, Tyrus Flare, and Gilius Thunderhead reunite to save the realm of Uria from the recurring villain Death Adder. Their mission gets complicated by Hampton Squibb, an underprepared newbie who tags along. All 10 episodes will drop at once. I don't know about you, Andrew, but I'm a huge old school Sega Genesis Golden Axe fan. It's a classic two-player side-scrolling beat 'em up. It looked hilarious. It looked like something that would have been on like Adult Swim back in the day. It's definitely a show that's like self-aware. I don't know. Did you get a chance to catch that trailer?
Yeah, I think it looks pretty funny. I'm definitely gonna watch it, but at the same time, I some of these stuff, the things that get like announced, I'm like, well, who's like approving this? Like of all the names that you could do, of all the stuff you could spend your money on, like Golden Axe. But I guess in a way too, it's like it's not similar to anything else. It's not. There's nothing else to like really kind of like rival it. So maybe it is the perfect choice, you know?
Yeah, and it is Paramount, and they are kind of scrambling to get their hands on as much IP as they can, and they're going through a whole thing of their own. But I thought it was interesting because it's definitely self-aware. It has the point where like the characters are sitting on the skull hand, like how you pick a character in the beginning. There's a point where she yells out "Sega" to fight
Yeah.
it. So I thought it looked hilarious, and that's coming out real quick, and all episodes will be available. The other game that caught my eye, or the first game that caught my eye that I thought would be right up your alley was that Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Tactics, which was an upcoming single-player turn-based tactical strategy game developed by Ubisoft. And I thought it was really cool because Andrew, I know, is really big into Rainbow Six. I really like tactical games, and it seems like a perfect kind of blend because you play as this character named Six, commanding a squad of 15 unique operators fighting a global threat. And from what I remember in playing Rainbow Six is like you could pick a role, right? It's not like Call of Duty where everyone goes out guns a blazing. Like each person has a role, like a medic or like a breacher or something like that. So in a tactic environment,
That's like what
it
Siege
seems
is, yeah.
yeah, it seems really cool. So how did that catch your eye at all as a Rainbow Six fan?
Yeah, because I think the first like real like tactical game I kind of played like that was Final Fantasy Tactics,
Yeah,
and I
you're
really
getting your
really
feet. Yeah, you're
enjoyed.
getting your feet freshly wet.
And I really enjoyed it. So I'm like, okay, this seems like it'd be pretty cool to at least try out and dip my feet into. I'm like, because I'm still not crazy. I'm not going out like, oh, well, what's another tactical game I play? It has to be like the right IP for me to be like, okay, cool. I'll definitely try this out. This is like one of them. I'm like, okay, cool. I love Siege, so this is pretty cool. And it seems like it makes sense.
Yeah, perfect. I thought it looked cool, and I'm a tactics guy, so it looked cool for me. The other thing that caught my eye was a new Dungeons and Dragons game called Warlock, which was an upcoming third-person dark fantasy action adventure video game set in the D&D universe. This one's actually coming out in 2027. You'll play as Katri, I think her name was, a veteran warrior voiced and modeled after Trisha Helfer, who makes a pact for forbidden magic. What I thought was really cool about this, because there's always going to be D&D games, and especially obviously the latest one, Baldur's Gate 3, was such a big hit, game of the year. But it was a tactical, turn-based kind of game where this one's going to be kind of action adventure, and they've really incorporated the spells that you're actually going to be used straight out of D&D. Like she's going to be able to use levitate, misty step, Tasha's leash, witch bolt. So I'm curious, do you think since because there's always been Baldur's Gate or there's always been D&D games like Baldur's Gate and like 1 and 2 and things like that. Do you think now that there's how popular 3 was that we're going to see more D&D games, or do you think they're just kind of moving steady but surely? Like does this even catch your eye?
I think it's more steady, but surely. But some of them, but I guess the best way to put it is there's more room for risk, especially after the huge juggernaut success that Baldur's Gate 3 was.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm super excited for it because I know Gino beat Baldur's Gate. I never got a chance to finish it, but this one looks right up my alley. And then I definitely a game that I saw was kind of for everybody that people have been waiting on is the new game Mega Man Dual Override, which Capcom announced for a 2027 release to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the franchise. That's also coming out on 2027. It'll be on all platforms. You get to play as Mega Man or Proto Man, each with a unique fighting style. In this one, they introduced an override mechanic, which is a high risk reward system that lets Mega Man unleash powerful, fully charged rapid shots. If the meter runs out completely, he suffers a burnout phase. They have custom chips where it looks like you're able to build up different kind of build. You can have different builds with perks such as shields, hovering abilities, and you can tweak their playstyle. They introduced, I think her name was Twinkle Girl in it. So I don't know how big of
I
a Mega Man
hated that
fan you
name.
are, but I mean, I think a lot of people have been sitting back waiting for Mega Man for a minute now.
I love Mega Man. I'm more into like the X series though. But I either way, I'm excited for it. I think it's cool. I think Mega Man definitely deserves to like have his time to shine and come back now. I hate the name of that boss though. Absolutely hate it.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of silly as well. Those were just a couple things. Obviously, I'll give a shout out to a few others. Did you have anything on your list that you wanted to shout out?
Yeah, I did have one big one, and surprisingly, so this is from MiHoYo, the people who make Genshin Impact and Zenless Zone Zero, some of like the biggest like mobile or like those what do they call them, like gotchas where like you
Oh
pump
yeah, the
like
gotcha
money
games
into
got to
and
pay
stuff like
money.
that. Is they have pretty much like a Chinese Elden Ring knockoff coming out called Notice Fall. I don't know if you watched that trailer,
I
but
did, I
it
did.
looks absolutely sick. Like it looks really good, but that's because it literally looks like just an Elden Ring knockoff. But if the team can do it, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I thought
Like
it
it,
looked actually. Was that a multiplayer? Was that a two-player game or was that a solo game? I'm trying to
I don't know
remember.
that it said on there, but it looked like it was multiplayer, and that was one of the cooler parts. Because I know that's something that a lot of people ask for. Is I love Elden Ring. I don't need them to change the system, but I can't. I would never force them to. But I can't deny it is kind of cool to see like some of the mods that people put into the games where you can play it front to back with somebody, or at the very least, like let's say you're fighting a boss together and I die. I don't even get to, and I'm not the host, so the host is still trying to fight it or whatever. I don't even get to finish watching the fight. It just hands me back to pretty much to my world, and I don't get to see anything else. And it's like something I would like to see the fight, especially like sometimes it gets like that close to the end of Sliver of the Hell. I'd like to cheer on whoever it is I'm helping out.
Hey, there you go. That's like a nice little
So something
backup
like that,
system.
I think would be really cool.
Sweet. And of course there were some other big things, guys. Witcher 3 had a whole big thing where they're doing some free DLC, they're doing a remaster if you've already owned it. Final Fantasy Revelation got a spring 2027 release date. They announced stuff on Gears. There was a whole
I was like,
bunch
I
of
do want to
stuff.
say that Revelation trailer
Yeah,
is
dude,
weak as
fighting the
fuck.
once they showed the weapons finally, I was like, man, dude, this is gonna go down as one of the greatest. It's weird that it's a trilogy because it is one game essentially, but it's gonna go down as easily one of the best three games compiled, right? You think of all time?
But yeah, the weapons look cool. I just think the trailer was like weak as fuck. I'm like, this shit just doesn't really feel like bigger than life, like what it should be, or at least like it did when it first was coming out. I
I
felt like it
I
was kind of
agree.
a weak trailer.
I liked it. I sir liked it. Any other shout outs at all? I feel like there's so much going on. There was a bunch of games today too that were drawn. Like I was doing all the notes for the show. There was like me and you were sending each other trailers and stuff. I'm like, dude, there's just so much good stuff going on
Yeah,
right now.
there's too
So
many. Get out there and check it out yourself. There's
yeah.
so much stuff.
So with Gamescom out of the way, I did want to bring up too because this wasn't part of Gamescom, but D23, which is Disney's, I think it's annual or their biannual presentation where they show off everything going on with Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, and all that. But they did drop a big announcement for Kingdom Hearts 4, which is coming out in 2027, which has the plot of Sora's waking up trapped in Quadratrum, a realistic modern metropolis, while Sora looks away from home. Donald Duck and Goofy head to the underworld to find clues to rescue him. Now, the new thing they showed off was that you're going to be in the Disney and Pixar Coco world, which is the land of the dead, which is a really cool kind of theme. And they've also
I
showed
love that
off that
movie.
that you're actually going to play Donald and Goofy for the first time. And I don't know if you can switch between them. I think the trailer just showed you playing as Goof or Donald, and then you're actually going to play as Mickey. But he's exploring like a book. And so there's parts where he's in 3D. There's parts where it looks kind of like Paper Mario, and there's parts where he's like kind of assumes like these origami type looks. So obviously, Kingdom Hearts 3 left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, and rightfully so. I feel like they really strayed away from what the old school Kingdom Hearts was. But as far as where it looks like it's going, it looks like it's going back into a traditional Kingdom Hearts story where there's actually more to do than just going level by level. My only thing is that it's clear that they've kind of skewed away from going from because once upon a time you used to see a lot of the Final Fantasy characters, and I feel
Yeah,
like they kind of skewed away from that, where it's more Disney and kind of new Square Enix characters. So I'm really hoping that in the newest one we get to see a couple of cool Final Fantasy characters because they also announced at D23 that they're doing a brand new anime, which is going to be based on Kingdom Hearts, which is officially in development for Disney Plus. It's going to be the series will not retell past video games. It will feature an all new story that expands the Kingdom Heart universe. So I hope between the game and the new anime show, that they kind of go back into showing some more Final Fantasy stuff. But
hey,
I know you
between
were
the
spurned by Kingdom Hearts. How do you feel?
I'd say, well, between the game, the anime, and the mobile flip phone games, I mean, you're really getting your stories worth out of them these days.
Yeah,
So,
you can get lost. There was also a thing too of a D23 where Haley Joel Osment and I forget the other guy's name, David something. They actually did a side by side and did the voices of Sora and Riku, and they acted out a scene. I think it was the ending of like Kingdom Hearts 2, so that was kind of magical. But that's all I got for the D23 stuff uh, um, and the stuff happening in Cologne, Germany for Gamescom 2026. So if you guys are interested in it, definitely go and check that stuff out. It's popping up. Oh, my YouTube is flooded with trailers like every 10
yeah.
seconds. So there's lots of good stuff to be had. So with that done out of the way, guys, let's move into our main story, and that is that Xbox is announcing its disc to digital strategy, which is a big counter to what PlayStation is doing, kind of with its all digital future. So it's kind of a big one, Andrew. So I'm gonna read this real quick, and then we'll dive into kind of what we think about it, because I know you're kind of stoked about it. So let me read this. It's official. Xbox has just announced the disc to digital program that's been rumored for some time now. And this comes from purexbox.com if you want to read the full link. Allowing you to convert your physical library into digital format across Xbox One and Xbox Series X. Thousands of games will be available to convert into digital from August 31st for a selection of Xbox insiders, with more to be added over time. Here's the lowdown on what you can expect. Most Xbox One and Xbox Series X disc-based games support this new feature. Players can claim a digital entitlement by inserting a supported disc into an Xbox One or Series X and launching the game. Once the entitlement is closed, you can experience the benefits of digital, including Xbox Play Anywhere and Xbox Cloud Gaming, where supported, while your physical discs continue to work exactly as it always has. We're starting with thousands of titles and will continue to add more over time. While not every title will be available at launch, this is an important step forward toward a future where players can have greater confidence that the games they buy remain with them for years to come. Xbox says this move is part of a broader commitment to game preservation, pointing out that as technology devices and distribution continue to evolve, preserving access to the games people own matters more than ever. There's no word right now on whether original Xbox and Xbox 360 discs might get supported in the future, but for the moment, it's just physical One and Series X games. So it's an absolute crazy new feature, and it's on its way. So that's actually huge news, man. Like I said, it's completely kind of juxtaposed against PlayStation's all digital future. So off the top, Andrew, I mean, start where you'd like to. What were your thoughts when you saw it? I mean, what are you thinking?
I think it sounds really good, but I actually was the other way. I don't know that it's I don't want to say not so much like game. I think it's more leaning into the digital future. Like, hey, instead of us dragging you, kicking and screaming into the digital future, like what Sony's trying to do, we can at least do something for you for your current catalog and your current everything. Now, I don't think that they could go back and do anything for 360 because obviously it says on there like Xbox One, and originally when the Xbox One launched and they had the always online features and this and that, I think that was something that was mentioned or was at least rumored was that you'd be able to put in a game, tie it to your account, but it would always have to be online because otherwise there's no way to check. So it sounds like maybe for however long they've been burning. So I don't know if it's some sort of ID or barcode or something to read on the disc itself because I think it says elsewhere too that like or the idea I think behind it is like let's say I put it on my console, it's tied to my account now. If I give it to you, it is going to remove the license from my console and it will go to yours. So that's
Yeah.
how they would deal with like trading or whatever. But you would have to always be online, I would imagine, because there's no way for something like that. Like, oh, let me burn it to my console, switch my console offline. Now, how are you going to remove this item? So I don't know. There's a whole lot more to it. But I think if this is something that they started doing a long time ago, which it really sounds like, there's no way for Sony to, unless they've been doing something in the background, which as far as I know, they don't because they barely support their past stuff as it is. There's no way for them to turn that ship around other than, hey, prove to us that you bought this game and we'll give you like a free digital license or something like that for it. But at that point, you're eating the cost versus, we have the disc or something like that. So absolutely genius move for once that they could do something that there's no way to top it and there's no way to copy what they're doing. There's absolutely zero way to retroactively be like, oh well, now we're retroactively gonna sell PS4 discs or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's no way they're gonna match that tech that they could do. But yeah, just to point it out, because you bring up something interesting with the loaning, because I think a lot of people were kind of confused on what it meant when you put it in there. Was it going to stay on your Xbox, and can you do the disc? So I just pulled this up real quick, and it says, so here's how it's gonna work. If you loan out a converted Xbox disc, you will lose access to the digital version of the game on your account. So here's exactly what happens. When your friend or family member inserts your loan disc into their console and launches it, the single revocable digital license transfers to their Microsoft account. The digital version of the game will be removed from your account, meaning you can no longer play it digitally without the physical media. Once you get the physical disc back and insert it into your own console, the digital license will transfer back to your account. Throughout this process, the physical disc continues to work normally as a standard game disc for whoever currently holds it. So, yeah, so I guess they're kind of keeping it from going like you burn it, you put it onto yours for digital, but I keep playing the disc. It does transfer with the disc itself. So, um, it's still kind of something cool though, because if they can get to a point where they do Xbox games and 360 games, because you might have those old discs, maybe they're scratched up or something, but if you're able to put it in there and then it upload and then it stay digitally, I think it's
Somehow,
good. I think
yeah.
it's badass. I think it's going to be something that is really cool, and it's moving in the distance where a lot of people are going. They want to preserve disc, and a lot again, you're right. A lot of people say that out loud that disc preservation and all these things, but I pulled this up too. I mean, the data speaks for itself. Digital game sales heavily outperform physical media. So this is from last year in 2025, with U.S. physical video game software sales dropping to an estimated record low of 1.5 billion. Digital purchases accounted for roughly 78 to 85% of full game sales across major platforms like PlayStation by the end of the fiscal year of 2025. Physical declined and fell roughly to 15 to 22% of total software sales, depending on the quarter and the platform, hitting a 30-year low in tracking data. So yeah, I mean, it speaks for itself that I mean, not everyone's buying it, but I wonder if there's going to be an interest if now you can start building up those disc collections and goes, oh, now I just need the disc once. I don't need the, because a lot of times a lot of people didn't want to keep switching out the disc, right? You buy it on digital, it's easier. But if you can just, if you're someone that, let's say you just have your own collection and then you just upload all your discs and they just stay in there digitally and you can kind of take them off when you want and put them back on when you need to, so you're saving up storage space. I mean, that can literally kind of digitize someone's whole 150, 200 plus games library.
There's a couple games that I like to play like daily that I can only play on my console because I only have the disc version, and the online version or the digital version has just never been on sale. So that would be great for me. Just that I would upload that digital license in a second, and I'll just keep the disc and keep that in the background.
There's a lot
But
of games
again,
too, because I've seen games where like they're not available to purchase anymore, like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, for example. Like if they can get the old 360 stuff working, it'd be cool to go back into a game store and go buy the disc and go, cool, now I can pop it on there and now it's digital and I'll have it forever. Well, I'll have it for, as long as it works.
I just think people are like a little bit delusional though, because it's like, oh, they're supporting this, and that this is a good step, and they're going to keep supporting this. It's like, no, they're supporting this, but they're readying you to rip off that band-aid is what they're trying to do. Because in what world do you think that they're only that people that make multi-platform games are only going to make a physical Xbox version? Like at least Switch could do whatever because they have their own cartridges. They have like their own
Right.
little thing. It's like they're gonna make this just for Xbox and not PlayStation. Like I'm sure those companies you already have Grand Theft Auto, perfect example. That's a company who's just choosing not to do it for both. At what point though is it like out of Xbox, and then what, Xbox is just, you know what, all third party games are going to be digital, but every first party game is going to be like physical. Well, then what's the point?
Well, then what's the point? So, I think it's interesting that it's moving forward. Of course, if you have Xbox Insider, try to test it out. I think I have Xbox Insider, so I'm actually gonna go look and see if that's something I can start messing around with because I'd love
I
to
think
kind
it
of look
starts
more into it.
next. I think it starts next week after the 31st or
Yeah, yeah,
something.
it starts coming up here soon, so I'm gonna look into that and see if that's something I can get into. But
Well, just get
that
ready for the big bad news because they finally have really good news with absolutely no downside to it whatsoever. And then now tomorrow,
yeah,
they're
in
gonna,
classic Xbox form, they'll drop something else and be like, "Oh yeah, but you gotta buy the disc reader that's $500 to do it."
yeah, as much as the console or something.
So yeah, that just came out recently, so not too much more I think to say on that. Was there anything else you wanted to add on that?
No, no. Either way, big W.
Nice, guys. So leave down below what you guys think about Xbox's strategy for their disc to digital moving forward. So with that being said, guys, let's move into our second main story, and that is that the Grand Theft Auto and Netflix kind of extended look dropped today. So if you have Netflix, you could have watched it earlier. I don't think the 6 hours has been up yet, but by the time anybody watches this on YouTube or on podcast, you should have been able to see it right
It's
now.
it's already all over
Yeah,
YouTube.
and it's already been spoiled and leaked, and not much more to spoil. It's just the wall paywall didn't really make sense. So let me read this real quick and kind of catch up if you're unfamiliar. Rockstar Games released GTA 6 an extended look exclusively on Netflix. The 27-minute showcase marked the world's first extensive premiere of in-game footage and gameplay for the highly anticipated title. In an unprecedented marketing move, Rockstar partnered with Netflix to stream the massive 27-minute gameplay reveal directly to subscribers. Captured entirely on a base PS5, the video provided a deep dive into the upcoming title, and the game is still set to release on November 19th of 2026, so a little later this year. And what it kind of went off and showed off was the protagonist and the story. You kind of got an extended look at the dynamic between the game's two characters, Jason and Lucia. It showed off the massive map scale and how big it's going to be compared to games like Vice City. One of the biggest things I know people were liking is the return of the wanted system, which in this I believe is a 6-star wanted system. And this says overhauling the mechanics from GTA 5, the police response can reach a chaotic 6-star maximum. Escaping law enforcement is vastly more complex. Cops can now remember your face, clothing, and vehicle description unless you change your appearance. It also had advanced mechanics and interactions. The world features a massive leap in NPC intelligence, utilizing an expanded version of the conversation and interaction system seen in Red Dead 2. Additionally, elements like physical fitness, dieting, carjacking, security systems, and special slow motion aiming modes were revealed. So it actually had a lot more than that, but I don't know how much you want to go beat by beat for a 27-minute deep dive. But I thought it looked great overall, man. If anyone wasn't hyped for it before, and again, you can hate on GTA if you'd like, but after seeing what we saw, there's no doubt that this game is going to be something that's going to eat up a lot of people's time. They were showing off simple things as just doing jet ski, boat riding. There was like, it looked like backyard MMA fighting. There was motocross racing. It seems like even the side stuff looked fantastic. And then as far as the gameplay went, the storyline, the narrative, it seems like you're going from like these hood apartment buildings to like lavish yachts to big parties and big like condos and things like that. So I don't know, man. I kind of forget where you land on the dial of GTA 6, but did this move the needle for you in a positive direction at all?
Yeah, I mean, I like Grand Theft Auto, but I wasn't like hyped for this or anything. I'm just like, okay, it's Grand Theft Auto. I already know what I'm going to get. This put me, I'm like, oh, this went from like, okay, I'm like, all right, I'll play it for sure, to like, okay, no, cool. Like, I might even take like a day or two off, like when this comes off, if I have, because I have the time, and just stay home and like knock some stuff
Yeah,
out and
I
put some
think
real
I think
time
you
into it.
need to. I think we were talking to Collins too. I think like this is a game where if you plan on playing it, you should. Well, and what sucks is it because how many times it moved, it burned a lot of people that did take time off once upon a time.
Yeah,
But hopefully it stays at November 19th. I think some people were saying it might get pushed again, but I doubt it this far. Anything else you want to say on the Netflix thing? I mean, I don't know why they actually did it. It's going to be on YouTube. I liked that it was 27 minutes. I mean, that's longer than
no,
most television episodes these days. So,
it
I mean,
was,
I watched it with Sam and we were watching it, man. We're like, damn, this looks great.
yeah, no, it was really good. I was saying, was there anything that stood out to you the most, or made you the most excited? Because for me,
I
there's like three.
I thought it was cool when they were pulling up and they were doing the shots and it kind of reminded me of Fallout. It looked like there was weak points you could shoot at. Like there
Yeah.
was red marks in like their joints and then like yellow in their arms to like drop stuff. I thought that was really cool. I thought the point of when there was a mission where they were you can either start driving as one of them and then you could just as easily just shift to the other one if you want to go to the car window and start shooting at people. So I thought the shifting between the two of them of what style you want to play based on what the other one was doing was pretty cool. And then there was just a point where not so much there was a feature, but like there was a scene where Lucia was walking and dude, she was like the Terminator. She was holding something and then she had like a shotgun
Oh,
and
the
dude,
one
she was
pump shotgun
blasting and then
scene?
dude, she would just chalk it and then flip it around and blah. So I was like, damn, dude, this game looks solid. And she's fighting people. There was that part where it was so funny because they're running away from something. And I'm like, why would she leave her high heels on? I'm like, maybe that's just for the game. I'm like, I literally was telling Sam, I'm like, that makes no sense. She's like, oh, but it looks cooler with the high heels. And then that scene pops on where she uses it and stabs the
Yeah.
dude in the eye. I was like, oh, so there was intent for her to keep those high heels on. So,
And she gets thrown around too, so that
yeah,
was
she
kind of a
gets
thing.
it. She
Like,
hits her
okay,
head.
like, or
Yeah,
is she gonna get like beat up or whatever? And it's like, no, she gets like smashed on the wall and like thrown down the stairs. I'm like,
yeah,
okay,
blood was
cool.
left
Like,
on the wall. Yeah. So was there anything in particular that stood out to you?
honestly, yeah, the three big things that like really did it for me about this trailer is, or trailer reveal, whatever it is that you want to call it, is like one, just how full the world looks. Like even when they're like on the beach, like before in Grand Theft Auto, there's just a couple people out there and stuff like that. You can kind of do whatever, but it's not like populated. Versus like now, it really feels like it's a big living world. There's lots of people out there sunbathing, doing whatever the hell they do on the beach and stuff like that. So the world just seems like it's very full, and I always like appreciate that because I think that always really lends itself to like a game I hate, not hate, but you can always tell, and it really kind of takes you. I don't want to take you out of it because I'm never one of those people like, oh, I'm fully immersed and blah 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 blah. But like when you're driving or you're doing something and there's just nobody around, it's just completely empty, or
Right.
like big chunks of empty space. So that was like this thing. It's extremely full, like not just people but things that do. But I love the chemistry between the like main two people. I was like, is this
Yeah.
gonna be kind of like annoying? But it comes off as like very like modern, like Bonnie and Clyde, and they're just like, you know what, we're criminals, but we're just doing whatever, but we don't look at ourselves as like bad people, or at least it seems like so far. So I'm like, okay, that's really cool. They have a very interesting dynamic between the two
Yeah,
versus like,
yeah.
oh, I love you and you love me.
Yeah,
Like,
because even in the beginning, there's a part where they show like when they seems like they barely know each other and they're kind of like joking around with each other till at the end where dude, it's like ride or die, dude. Like they're in it to win it, man. So yeah, keep going.
and then the real big moment for me that I was like, okay, like this looks like beautiful is when they go to jump off the roof and she goes to
Yes.
parachute and
Yep.
you see like the map is fucking huge.
Yeah.
But that for me, because that's something I hated about like some of the other Grand Theft Autos, like maybe even kind of like San Andreas, even kind of five, is like the map's huge, but how much of that is empty? Like just a big mountain or something like that, or just like mountain ranges or whatever. Not that I don't appreciate that, but it's just empty land. Versus this was just packed with like city, and there might be an area that looks like a swamp, but that's nothing compared to like the big Miami style looking area and stuff like that. So that's just another part of that fullness. Like it just looks like a big full area, almost kind of like I would say like Spider-Man, swinging around like New
Yeah.
York or
Yeah.
something like that. It's not just big empty area. There might be a spot that is just a forest or something like that, something tucked away, whatever in between. But the rest of it is like that big thriving city. And that as soon as that part happened and you're kind of flying, I'm like, man, this looks so good.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. So it's out, guys. By the time you're seeing this, you're more than welcome to go watch that. 27 minutes of your time. You will not regret it.
Sick
Um,
reveal.
yeah, sick reveal. So I know we wanted to add a little something else because with GTA going on. Well, was there anything else on six for the review at all that you wanted to add, or are we good on that?
No, we're good.
Okay, so there was something, and Andrew was pointing out to me. I was following it, but not too closely. The prominent anonymous hacker known as CyberLeak has leaked a massive wave of GTA 6 gameplay clips. The leaker used the hype to promote a cryptocurrency token before pulling off a massive cash out. So this guy was living real life GTA. So, like I said, I was hearing about it. I didn't follow too deep on it, Andrew. What was there something in particular you want to bring up or point out that? I mean, this guy made out like a bandit. Didn't he make like 275 grand or something?
Yeah, so I'll just give you like a brief little timeline because I think it is important because it's a huge game and there's a lot of people who are like, oh, spoilers are out there and blah blah blah. Because the guy has been going on for like over 2 weeks, and the dude at this point has said like, I have a build of the game and I've already beaten the game front to back, and he's put out tons of video and stuff like that to prove like I
That is
have
so
it, I'm doing
nuts.
this. He even took, because some people were like, oh, this is just screenshot, or like it's just rip footage of, you don't have anything. Maybe you just have a couple leaked clips or something like that. But then he posted like a picture with his like name shot on the wall. Like he just put like leak or whatever on there. It's like, okay, well, you can only do that if you have the game. There's no other way to do something like that. But it's just kind of crazy the way the story kind of transcends too. Because at first it started with him doing some of this stuff, and he was saying it was more of like, this is a fuck you to Rockstar, because one, there's no physical version, so I'm standing up for the physical people, and this is the way to fight back is, ruining your whatever. But also to that, you have this $100 version that's been very controversial that you should just upgrade people to for free so they get the full game. And then until like our demands are met, we're just gonna keep dropping stuff after stuff after stuff. But then that turned into, okay, well now you can only view this stuff on my website, and if you want to see something in particular, you can pay for it, which then turned into, well, now I'm going to offer ads on my website to make money. No scam ads, but if you want to do gambling, if you want to argue if that's a scam or whatever, stuff like that, that's fine too. Which then turned into, if you really want to get all this stuff, buy my cryptocurrency. And then that turned into, well, I'm not making money off the cryptocurrency. I'll just get rid of all that because that's not what I'm in it for. But I'm just making money off the transaction fees. But yeah, lo and behold, recent reports from Theorized Everything is that he's made like close to, if not more than 300 grand already just off of this. And then to top it all off, he openly taunts Rockstar, talks shit to them. They barely put out a post, I think like a day or two ago, saying like, we know we see this guy, it's just the tip of the iceberg, he's not really showing you anything, we're going to show you all this stuff. Which I agree, for the stuff he showed off, I was like, this is way better than anything the other dude showed. And for whatever reason why, the dude's just trying to make money off of it. But there's rumors that like he's selling the game to, copies of the game to people like, high end people like Logan Paul, like big people for like shit tons of money, is a rumor. But something that he has said is like, if Rockstar does come after me, which they've tried to do, They've tried to get with like the cryptocurrency people, and I think they've even subpoenaed like Microsoft to try to get like the IP address to track this dude down and see where he's coming from, how he got this stuff. Is that he's like, if they catch me, if they do anything, if anything happens, I have a dead man switch that and this game will just go online for free. Like whatever this build is that he has, the whole thing's just going to go up. Everybody can download the game on top of all the spoilers sitting out there. It's going to ruin your story front to back, whatever, and whatever that means for whoever. So it's just an absolute crazy scenario again to happen to one of the biggest companies.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. And he's just living his best life. So yeah, from what I read, he apparently made money, man. So we'll see if he gets caught in the coming days. But I mean, he did what he did, man. And he so far it seems like he got away with it. So hey, what can you do? Was there anything
Well,
else on that?
no, no. Either way, excited for it. November.
Definitely, guys. So leave down below your thoughts on GTA 6 and Cyber Leak and all that good stuff and Xbox main story. So we've got a few minutes left, guys. So we're going to do what Andrew and I like to do at the end of the show called What Are You Up To? When Andrew and I take a second and we talk about things we've been watching and things we've been playing. So, Andrew, my man, what have you been watching? What have you been playing?
As far as what I've been playing, I've gone through. I had already beaten Halo. I don't remember if I talked about before if we were done that we beat Halo on Legendary. I played with like my wife and my brother, and then I've gone through and done like the remix campaign, found all the skulls, all the terminals. The only thing I have left is the LASO run, which is going to be a pain in the ass to do it itself. And I put a review up on Instagram, so go check it out if you want. Again, at the end of the day, I'm going to talk a lot of shit about the game. I did have a good time, but there just is like so much wrong with this, and it just really like occurred to me. I put it in the review. That's like this really was like a game that was like all risk, no reward. Because let's say this game just did phenomenal, just amazing, whatever. How many people played Halo and already played the story and are invested in the Halo universe? Tons, millions, whatever. And you'll get new people, but new people are going to play this game regardless because it's on PlayStation now for the first time. That it was just 100% risk because now that it's not done well, now that there's so many bugs, so many this, so many that, that people are just absolutely shitting on it and the studio as they should be. And I mean, even you, I'm sure, like when you're playing it, I'm sure you've ran into tons of stuff. You're like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, there are parts. I think I was saying there. It's definitely things. For what how long it took and what they did with it, there definitely should have been more in it, and it should have been more polished. But the overall experience that me and Gino had playing it was just a lot of fun, a lot of good memories. I would be kind of interested to see new people's take on it because for me, I think for a lot of people, it was nostalgia, going back and seeing new graphics and all that stuff. But if you've never played it, I did see a lot of people like PlayStation people going, "This was it." So.
I had more
But
fun. I get way more fun playing with somebody else than when I was going through and doing all the other stuff by myself. I'm like, I'm like, oh, I'm fucking over this.
right on, man.
And then as far as watching anything, I finally started watching something. I started watching The Chosen, which is on Amazon Prime. If you don't know what that is, or you've been living under a rock for however long, it's absolutely a huge show. But it is a take. It's hard to say take. Takes kind of maybe the wrong word to use, but it is essentially the story of Jesus Christ and his ministry during the times when he was like traveling and going to place to place with the disciples, and starting from like the beginning of his ministry, a little stuff before that, up until the newest season is going to cover obviously his crucifixion, death, rebirth,
How
and
many
so on and
seasons
so
is it?
forth. The newest one is going to be season 6,
Season six.
and
Okay. Oh, it's been
it's
out for a minute. Okay.
yeah, they're like 8 episodes long. They're like 42 minutes each. I'm just super excited that I felt like a while that I didn't want to watch it because I know that there are some not liberties taking in a weird way, but there's maybe some things added to maybe because there's no part about it in a Bible that's like, okay, well, this is just leading up, or maybe in line with the person's motivations or something like that. What I really like too is when you first watch the show, it says like, this is based off of the Bible. This is not meant to take the Bible's place. We recommend like no matter what for the truth for what you believe, you go and read the Bible. So I'm like, okay, that's really cool that you're not just trying to push like, oh, this is based on like scholars or whatever, blah blah blah. We're trying to replace. And it's like, no, go read that because that is what you should be doing first. But we're here to check this out. So it's a companion piece, I guess, more to say. And again, it just really speaks to me, dude. I'm so in love with it right now.
Nice. Right on, man. Oh, is that everything?
Uh, Christ is King, and what are you doing?
As far as what I'm doing, man, I started watching the new season. I didn't even know it was on. I didn't remember seeing a trailer for it at all. But there's season 18 of Always Sunny in Philadelphia,
Yeah,
which premiered on August 17th, 2026, with episodes airing on Hulu or Disney Plus if you have it. Dude, I was watching the trailer of it, and I haven't got to the episodes that look like they're the funniest. Like there's an episode where it looks like they're at like a Renaissance fair, and they're
yeah,
doing a baseball game. And one of the things I remember Max saying, he's like, Charlie's eating like peanuts. And he's like, "Are you eating the shell and spitting out the peanut?" So I think there's 3 episodes out right now. The first 2 were kind of slow because I think it's kind of more dealing with getting over what was ending with last season. It's a lot of more. It's a lot of yelling, so I'm waiting to get kind of to the more goofier ones like the Renaissance Fair and things like that. These show, dude, they're definitely getting up there, man. They're definitely old, and
yeah.
it's you can clearly tell at this point. So if you guys didn't know, Always Sunny in Philadelphia is out now, and they're one of the longest running sitcoms I think at this point, with now being on season 18. The other show I was watching is Lanterns on HBO Max, which has, I think it's going to be 8 total episodes, and I think there's 2 episodes out right now, which stars Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre. It's great, man. It's you
Oh,
can
really?
call
I
it
was gonna
like,
say I've not heard good things about it. I've
oh
heard
no,
nothing but bad things about it.
it's doing fantastic, man. People are already saying it's gonna be up for, as long as it stays as good as it's doing. It'll be up for like the best drama. It
Oh,
broke
okay.
it broke records for DC Studios, pulling in 9.3 million global across the platform. Being the highest DC show for HBO Max in its first 3 days, and it beat out shows like Commandos, Peacemaker, and The Penguin. Which I know you saw The Penguin, right?
Yeah.
Dude, The Penguin is hands down one of the best shows I've seen in a while, and it blew that off the door. So you've got to be ready for like a buddy cop kind of thing because it has like a True Detectives vibe, which I dig. But it's still early on, and I finally at the end I finally just saw Sinestro. He looks great. They're mentioning Manhunters. It seems like it's gonna have a really cool story. So I like that it's kind of dealing with this more mature theme.
Do they have what's his name in there with his stupid haircut from the Superman movie?
Guy Gardner, yeah, he's in it. He's in the trailer, so
No,
so that's
I
not a
was,
spoiler because I think he's in the trailer.
it's not the same guy, is it?
Yeah, Nathan Fillion, I think, is
Oh,
playing
is it?
him.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. I didn't. I was making a joke. I didn't even think that they would be connected like
Oh
that.
no, no,
So all I
that,
remember is his
yeah,
fucking goofy haircut.
yeah, they're tied into the new Superman, the new Supergirl, and all that. So,
Oh, I didn't know
uh,
that. That's cool.
yeah, if you're interested in it, it's out on HBO. As far as what I've been playing, I just beat 2 games. One of them was this game called Dusk Fade, which is a 3D action platformer inspired by PS2 classics, released on August 13th, 2026. It's developed by Weird Beluga Studios and published by Fireshine Games.
I like that name.
It's really good, man. If you like platformers, and it's the action's not crazy. It's got some really good mechanics. Like it's got like a progressive system where at first you upgrade your sword where you can break kind of like boulders and stuff to get through zones. Then you end up getting a grappling hook. Then you end up being able to slide on rails and stuff and do grinding. Then eventually you get wings and stuff. And as the worlds, there's 4 worlds to get to before you open this door, which is based on you're from this place called Tick Town, which long story short, your grandfather is dying and passing away, and your sister's obsessed with trying to stop it. Some things happen, and now you, as the brother Zarian, have to go kind of solve this plan. If you watch it on YouTube, he's got a very Kingdom Hearts look. Like he's got like a big kind of sword that looks like a keyblade, and it hangs down. It's really bright. It's really colorful. I played it on Xbox. Sam played it on the Switch because we were playing it. It's a game we were actually playing side by side. I think she said it's her favorite game of the year so far. She's been playing the big stuff. She's playing Resident Evil 9 and things like that. So for her, it was a fantastic game. I really liked it. I'm hoping it sells well because I would love to see what a number 2 looks like. And it's not that expensive either. I think it was only like maybe 20 something bucks. So if you're interested in a good little platformer, check it out. The other game I just beat was Splatoon Raiders on Nintendo Switch 2, which is a popular third person shooter franchise created by Nintendo where players control characters called Inklings and Octolings who use ink based weapons to cover territory and defeat opponents. That's the original Splatoon. That's the online shooter. So Raiders is a single player game that you run through and do raids. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but I saw that it was a single player game. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe this will get me into liking Splatoon. It's actually pretty badass. You go around doing these raids, so you actually get to collect gear, And then you have these. I kind of was skipping the cutscenes because they don't talk at all, and I don't really know anything about these characters, so I was kind of skipping it, just in it for the action. But you get these three different tanks. One of them's like gadgets, where you can set up like a it's like more tech. You can set up like a sentry gun and things like that. One of them's a tank, and the other one's kind of built for speed. They all have different weapons and abilities you can kind of customize. You get skill points that you can build in, so you can really make your custom character. And as you're cruising, if you get stuck on a level, you can actually hit help, and it'll go online. It'll pull characters that are in other that are actually online, and they'll come in and help you. So there was times where I was like on a boss, and it was like 5 levels ahead of me. And I'm like, well, I don't want to keep grinding because you can go and grind. I would just call
Yeah,
people in help, and we would just smash through it. So
that
I
sounds
got.
pretty cool.
It's actually not bad, and it's what's crazy is it's cheaper than a full price game. Like I think normally Splatoon, like games run at what, like 70, $60 these days. It was on sale, not on sale. The price of it was $49.99. So it's not even a full price game for a game that's selling really well. It debuted number 1 in Japan on the Famitsu charts. It debuted number 1 in the United Kingdoms, and it was in the top 10 for the United States. By the time I got to the boss, I beat it. I'm on level 40. But there's post game stuff. There's a lot of stuff to do after the game, and I guess that's where people are saying it shines, because there's people getting to like the 90s right now. So I'm glad I got it for the price. I thought it was very acceptable. I beat it. It was a lot of fun. I actually had a lot of fun. I was playing it in the game room. So those were the 2 games I just beat. I just started something new today, but I'll talk about that on our next episode. So if you guys are interested in Splatoon Raiders, I would say check it out. And if you're looking for something fun and action platforming, check out Dusk Fade. So with that being said, guys, that brings us to a close on this episode. Brings us to an end to episode 236, guys. Join us next time for episode 237. My name is Craig Paralis, and that is Mandrew Montemayor. And until next time, cheers.
See you in the all digital future.